wife has suffered from this disease for almost 30 years. I also lead a biotech company in California. It was time for me to get involved.
We've gathered together this preeminent group of scientists, government officials, leaders from biotech, and others with deep knowledge of the disease. All of us here today, our goal is the same. What can be done, not 10 years from now, not a year from now, but now, to accelerate the work, to find treatments and cures to ease the suffering of hundreds of thousands of Americans and millions of people across the world.
I point out to this major announcement by the NIH to include CRCs and a data management coordinating center, and we are so pleased and privileged to have all the leaders, it just happened this way, all the leaders of these centers in the room as well as the CDC and the NIH to sit together and think about the main challenges in our disease space and how we plan for the phase.
First of all, I want to congratulate everybody in this room, and not only the people who have the awards, but in addition, Solvay and the CFS, because this really is, I think, an extraordinary sea change for all of us. We finally have a seat at the table. We finally have attention being paid to the disease. But the fact of the matter is we still haven't addressed these issues of public health crises nationally, internationally.
Our ultimate goals are to identify biomarkers, and there can be biomarkers for diagnosis, and that requires specificity for ME/CFS. We turn quickly to some work that Solve ME/CFS is funded. These are pilot studies that were very important for us to investigate some new aspects, examining the cellular metabolism of immune cells and metabolite profiling.
We're working on the Data Management and Coordinating Center, which will be sort of a central hub to help all the researchers and all the research progress and move forward. And first of all, we're working very closely with Dr. Peter Rowe from Johns Hopkins. He's a member of our team and will be providing us with better insight and better communications with all of you and how things are operating. Solve is part of our study and application. In fact, I'll note that while I thought it was a great idea that we hooked up and started working together, in the review of our peer review of our application, that was a strikingly strong point that resonated with the review committee. So we're very proud and happy to be working with you, both from before that, but then after that I realized how valuable that was, even improving that.
Our long-term goals have not changed. Our long-term goals are to support and expand these collaborative centers as funding allows, to support the development of new therapies and treatments of ME/CFS, to support clinical trials down the road for ME/CFS, and ultimately to improve the health and the quality of life for all individuals with ME/CFS.
So we have plans for more continuing education events. One of the most critical needs is doctors that understand this illness.
So although these two case studies were groundbreaking in cancer biology, I hope that you can see that these techniques now that we've been pointing at stem cell biology, infectious disease, and cancer and metabolic disorders can be pointed at the disease that we're looking at here today and really start to resolve some of the questions that arise around ME/CFS.
I wanted to give you a flavor of what we're doing with the microbiome analysis because I think it's relevant to this indication, to this disease state, because ultimately there is a clear link with the microbiome.
There's no talking. Everything's shut down. There's no communication between anybody. So big surprise that instead of seeing with inflammation upregulated, that the anti-inflammatory pathways should then upregulate, they fail. You don't get a cortisol bump after inflammation. It turns off, it doesn't turn on. So this is like opposite land.
So I think the notion that that deconditioning is responsible for all of this stuff really needs to be buried. It's not supported by the facts.
Well, I was on the CFS advisory committee and I served in a number of roles. And by far, the glaring gaps in this illness can be dumped into two pots: research and access to medical care. And of course, they're related.
We pride ourselves on being a comprehensive disease organization. Our comprehensive approach to solving ME/CFS really is hinged on two key components. We try to improve the overall ME/CFS ecosystem through many key functions that I will describe briefly to you. And we initiate and support high quality research.